Hare Krishna. We continue reading from Nectar of Devotion. We're on chapter 1. We have been reading the characteristics of um, pure devotional service. So now this characteristic, the happiness of becoming one with the Supreme. Srila Rupa Goswami says that if Brahmananda, or the happiness of becoming one with the Supreme, is multiplied 1 trillion-fold, it still cannot compare to an atomic fraction of the happiness derived from the ocean of devotional service. So, on the Brahman platform, on the liberated platform, in the Brahma Jyoti, there is a lot of happiness. We cannot even imagine how much happiness is there. Because right now, what we are feeling is only material happiness. Whereas the Brahman and the happiness is on the Brahman platform, is beyond the body, it's on the platform of the soul. So it's great, great, immense happiness. And what is Srila Rupa Goswami saying? That this great, great, immense happiness, it cannot compare if this happiness is multiplied even 1 trillion times. It cannot compare to the happiness of one tiny drop of happiness, which is coming from devotional service. So we can see that how much bliss is actually there in devotional service. Pure devotional service gives happiness which is far beyond the happiness of the Brahmajyoti. That's the reason the pure devotees are always hankering to engage in pure devotional service. It's because they're feeling the happiness, they're feeling the joy. They're already liberated. It's not that the pure devotees are not liberated. They are already liberated. That's the reason they are able to engage in pure devotional service. But they are feeling more happiness and engaging in devotional service rather than just being on that platform that, yes, I'm liberated. Sorry. In the Hari Bhakti Sudodaya, Prahlad Maharaj, while satisfying Lord Nishimadev by his prayers, says, My dear Lord of the universe, I'm feeling transcendental pleasure in your presence, and I've become merged in the ocean of happiness. I now consider the happiness of Brahmananda to be no more than the water in the impression left by a cow's hoof in the earth compared to this ocean of bliss. So Prahlad Maharaj, he is offering prayers to Lord Nishingadev. And this is recorded in Hari Bhakti Sudodaya. And then what is Prahlad Maharaj saying? Prahlad Maharaj is saying that, my dear Lord, you know, by just being with you, I'm feeling so much happiness. I'm like swimming in an ocean of happiness that the happiness on the liberated platform, on the Brahman platform, I'm just feeling that that happiness is so small. You know, a cow's hoof is so small. So the water contained in the hoof print of a cow, it's very tiny if you compare that to the ocean. So Prahlad Maharaj is saying that the happiness on the Brahman platform is just like a water in the cow's hoof print. And whereas the happiness in the Lord's presence, transcendental pleasure in the presence, is like an ocean of happiness. In the material world, how much happiness we are experiencing, it is said, is like a drop of water in the desert. That is the happiness we are feeling in the material world, a drop of water in the desert. So now in the desert, of course, you're just parched and we want water, water. We get one drop, we feel, oh, okay, I got water. Now, why do we in the material world think that liberation has a lot of happiness? Because a drop of water in the desert, if we compare it to the cow's hoof, is a lot of water. Like a drop of water compared to a cow's hoof. It's a lot, it's so much. That's the reason we feel, oh, liberation has so much happiness. But a pure devotee, he's experiencing an ocean of happiness. An ocean of happiness. So water in a cow's hoof is barely negligible compared to an ocean of happiness. This is how much bliss is there in pure devotional service. Similarly, it is confirmed in the Bhavarthika Dipika, Sridhar Swami's commentary on the Srimad Bhagavatam. My dear Lord, some of the fortunate persons who are swimming in the ocean of your nectar of devotion and who are relishing the nectar of the narration of your pastimes certainly know ecstasies that immediately minimize the value of the happiness derived from religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. So, Sridhar Swami, he is a great devotee and he has written his commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam, which is called Bhavarthika Dipika. Srila Prabhupada, in his purports, he's taken, Srila Prabhupada's purports are given to us by the commentaries after he has studied the commentaries of Sridhar Swami, of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, of the great devotees. And he's giving us the cream, the essence of all the commentaries. And so Sridhar Swami's commentary says that, my dear Lord, some of the fortunate persons who are swimming in the ocean of your nectar of devotion and who are relishing the nectar of the narration of your pastime certainly know that ecstasies that immediately minimize the value of the happiness derived from religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. Such a transcendental devotee regards any kind of happiness other than devotional service as no better than straw in the street. So Sridhar Swami is saying that the pure devotee is experiencing so much happiness that he does not want to do anything else. He's feeling so much ecstasy that he does not want to engage in religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, or even liberation, because he's experiencing a greater transcendental happiness. That's why he's considering anything else as no value. We don't give much value to a straw in the street, to some grass on the street. We don't give it much value. So similarly, a pure devotee, he's feeling so much happiness that he does not care for the happiness which is derived from just mundane piety, mundane material piety, or economic development, sense gratification, or even liberation. So it gives great transcendental pleasure, pure devotional service. So we'll stop here for today. Are there any questions or comments? Thank you so much for listening in and joining in. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.